guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how I manage to budget monthly even though I get paid every 2 weeks. So I prefer to budget monthly just because I like kind of a more global approach to my money, like in terms of how I think about it. Like I think about how much I get paid per month, and I also think about how much I get paid per year. Some people budget or make yearly budgets. I don't do that. I feel like too many things come up during the months for that to be necessarily worthwhile, so I stick to like monthly budgeting. Getting paid every 2 weeks, however, does kind of affect the way you budget, especially if you do it monthly. So I have a sort of cheat sheet / Google spreadsheet, and I also have it on my cell phone and notes as well, so that I can see it when I'm out and about if I need to move things around in my accounts or anything like that. So I'm going to be going over that today. So I have the Google Sheets on my computer right here, so let's review. So I have several accounts, but today we're going to be focusing on the 2 accounts that I have, which are both checking accounts. One, I put all my fixed expenses in. So those are expenses where the value or the amount of money that is being withdrawn does not change particularly often. And then I have another account where expenses that are variable or expenses that are auto-debited and put on my credit card are in. So we'll go over the 2 accounts. So in fixed expenses, I have two checks per month usually. Sometimes we have a 3 paycheck month. For check 1 and check 2, I have my employer do my direct deposit for $600 every 2 weeks. So at the beginning of every month, I make sure that there is $1,200 in the account. So essentially I am 1 month ahead, so I don't have to worry about the timing necessarily of bills. Like nothing is gonna get overdraft because I always have the total sum of all the money that I need for the month, like there at the beginning of the month. So in the first paycheck, I normally have $972.83 worth of expenses coming out of the account. So the first thing is my association fee, which is always $200. Student loans, which total about $773, but they're in 2 separate groups and they get debited separately. So the first one is $119.41. That's group 1. And then the second is $653.42. So that is it for the first half of the month, or my first check. So the second check, the expenses that come out of that one are $213. And these expenses are expenses that I use for my sinking funds. So the only thing I do is that I transfer those amounts to a savings account. And then when the expenses come up, then I transfer that money back over to the checking account to pay for them. So those expenses are my property tax, which works out to be $106, my condo insurance, which is $28, and then car insurance, which is $79. So at the bottom of the sheet, I have the ending balances for each week, just so that I'm not necessarily going over an amount at the end. So for check 1, at the end of the month, I normally have $227.17 left. And then at the end of check 2, I normally have $14.17. That is not so much of an issue because 1, I always have like the $1,200 in my account. And 2, these are fixed expenses, so you need less wiggle room. Nothing else comes out of this account beside these expenses. I do not have, or I do not use the debit card associated with the account. So like the only thing it's for is for the fixed expenses. So next up on the other side of the Google spreadsheet is the variable / credit card expenses that I mentioned earlier. So once again, I have my check split up to deposit $375 to my account every time I get paid. So at the beginning of every month, I always have $750 for my variable / credit card expenses. For the first check, I have $370 withdrawn. In withdrawals as in bills, it's just things that I have to pay for. The first one is the gym, which is $75, and my subscription to Wall Street Journal, which is $10, and then investments, which is $100. And those are just kind of an experiment that I have going on with Wealthfront, which is a robo-advisor if you've never heard of it. So I'm trying to see if these stocks or the performance of Wealthfront is in line with my other investments, which is the ones that I have with my Roth and 403b. So I just deposit $100 for that. I don't do a lot of savings at this point in time because I'm trying to get out of debt. I already have my emergency fund set up for 6 months worth of expenses in case something happens. And then I also have investment, so I'm set in that regard. So all my extra money goes towards debt at this point. Next is fuel, which I take out in cash because we get charged a surcharge here for using a credit card at most gas stations or a debit card. So I normally just take that out in cash, which is kind of a pain, but it's worth saving the extra 10 cents a gallon just to do that. Next is groceries, which I have set as $125. And the fuel and groceries, I just have them split up between check 1 and check 2. Sometimes for fuel, I may or may not check out the entire amount at the beginning of the month. Or groceries, I normally buy or go to the grocery store every week, so it's usually split up into essentially. At the end of check 1 or paycheck 1, I will have $380 left. Then at paycheck 2, same thing with fuel, $60, groceries $125. Then my internet bill comes out, which is $56, and my cell phone bill $33, as well as electricity, which on average is $45. So that means some months it's higher. I think the highest I've had it recently is in the 60s, and then the lowest has been in the 30s. So at the end of the month, I have an extra $61 left in the account, which helps to account for any bills that are higher than planned. So for example, electricity. Suppose it's not $45 for that month, then I have a little bit of extra money in there to pay for that. So those are my 2 accounts, and those are the ones that I use to budget mostly. If I have other expenses not related to any of these, I have a separate account where I have most of my money. So if anything comes up through the month that I need to pay for extra, then I will move the money over to usually the variable account because that's the only thing that changes. So I'll move the money over there and then have that debited from that account. That goes for anything random that comes up, as well as my student loans. So that is it for my bi-weekly budget, or kind of like a snapshot of how I kind of do a paycheck to paycheck budget without actually doing that and budgeting monthly. So let me know if you have any questions about that, if there's anything I didn't explain correctly, or if you have any comments about this type of system, then definitely let me know below in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.